What if your story could ignite a movement? At New Solutions Network, we merge truth, resilience, and reinvention, fueling shows that cut past the noise and light up what really matters: human potential. Police, athletes, survivors, incarcerated folks, visionaries, we bring raw, real voices the world needs to hear. Want to share your story? Want to sponsor change? Now is the time. New Solutions Network, unlocking the future, one voice at a time.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Coach Kellz, back at it with another episode of Game Mindset. I'm sitting here with the wonderful Ian, host of Sexy Science, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, tell him a little bit about our podcast.
Thank you, Sean. It's a pleasure to be here. As you mentioned, my usual run is Sexy Science time, but today we're here for Game Mindset and talking about food and sport and mental health and all those good things.
Right. So, you know a little bit about what I'm doing, Coach Kellz. We running some sports camps. We helping the kids, the youth. Tell us some about the sports growing up you might have played and why they were beneficial to you as a kid.
Your program is amazing. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
And it's about something fundamental. It's giving the kids something to occupy their minds, something to occupy their hands. And I love all the different sports that you do. Now, coming from the UK, our ball games were typically soccer. Obviously, we called it football,
right.
Cricket and rugby. I was horrible at ball games. I mean, and tennis, obviously, because obviously Wimbledon's a big thing in the UK. The only sport I was any good at was running.
Okay.
So I'm clearly not a team player. Nobody wanted me on their team, but they couldn't catch me either. And it's not an attractive thing. It's a very lonely sport. I ran kind of middle distance in school, and as an adult, I figured that as a 56-year-old man, if I could still finish a 5K in a respectable time, I'd probably be doing all right.
No, that's amazing. And did you run track and field as a kid? Like,
yeah,
for school?
I did 800 meters and 1500 meters.
Okay.
And it was kind of, yeah.
When you say 15, 18, I have no idea what that means. Is that like around the track
So basically,
once?
800 is 2 laps around the track, and 1500 is 3 laps around the track.
Now, for us sports fanatics, right? For football, how many yards would that be? Would we be running?
Well, meters a yard, basically.
Okay. So we running out there. You were running.
It's shocking to me how much quicker the running is from when I was a kid. So I ran competitively, say around the age 15, 16, that kind of age, so 40 years ago. How much the records have changed. Like, for example, I think the women's world record for the 800 meters was like 2 minutes 32 when I was a kid. Okay. And one of the guys I ran with could just about hit that. I was some way off. I was not competitive. I didn't train with a club. That was just kind of like the raw body energy of what I could get around the circuit. But nowadays, it's like sub 2 minutes. It's insane. People are sprinting that distance now. I can't do that, but I can probably finish a 5K. Probably.
You said something about the confidence, right, and competitiveness. When you were growing up, what do you say speak a little bit about your coaching, the coaches you had, and maybe think about the confidence and being competitive, maybe why you might lack that in a sense? Because we're experienced. The reason I asked that question is the past 5 years or past 10 years, I've been really working with the kid, but the past 5, I've been really invested, and I noticed that there's a real lack of confidence and competitiveness in the youth right now.
Yeah, I didn't have a great coaching experience. Our PE teachers were all about the ball games, all about the big games like the crickets and the footballs and the rugbies of this world. I got a few words of advice from one of the teachers that seemed to know how to run, but yeah, I was definitely not a confident child, and I didn't get any sense of achievement from that. I was bullied a fair bit as a kid as well, and it didn't really help me with that at all in any way, but I got a certain sense of pride nonetheless from knowing that I was one of the few that could actually cover that distance in a decent space of time. But it's a very different environment. There's no team spirit. There's no kind of like teammates to hold you up. You're just there. You're there against the road and the nature and the other people you're running.
Let me ask you a question. Dealing with all of that, right? When you stepped onto the track for that race, did that take you away from everything that you were going through at the time?
Yeah,
I mean,
because you're focused right in the moment on the breathing, and even at those distances, you've still got to get a good start. So being mindful of where you will start in your own lane for both of those distances, but then with the 1,500 meters, you merge. So that's a race where you need to be mindful of the other runners, because I've been spiked in the leg, I've been bumped off the track, that kind of thing, and everyone's in their zone. It's a little bit of elbows here and there, I think is normal. But again, this is like 40 odd years since I've been in that environment.
Well, that's why I'm asking the question, because I talked to like my mom, and then me and my sister got to go to the same grammar school my mother went to. So it's interesting to see how coaching and some of the things haven't changed much when you speak to either adults or kids. So I had girls telling me some stuff about their flag football, and then I got the boys telling me about this and what's going on in class. So it's wild to hear that we have to change something along the way. But sports, whether it be track and field, when you got out there, it did something for you. Yeah. Regardless of the coaching, would you have liked to have, let me rephrase that, would you, if you can go back to those high school years when you did do track, right, track and field, what are some of the things maybe you would have liked to have in that coach, going through the things you were going through? You said, you experienced some bullying. That's an era. I mean, I think what schools do nowadays for the harassment and bullying and everything is leaps above what was in place in the 70s and 80s. And so grateful for that. I didn't have... There was no kind of like after school activities for that kind of, particularly for running. Okay. And given that I had no talent for any of the ball games, I was never invited. So didn't know whether there was stuff available for that. But yeah, to have had access to better coaching, I think the fact that I had the body shape and some kind of natural ability for that could have been enhanced. And like I say, the only guy I was at school with who trained with a club was and he practiced. That's it, isn't it, though? It's spending the time doing the sport, practicing it, learning all the techniques in addition to just plain doing it. Now, that's what I'm talking about. So today is our last day of our summer camp, right? And that's exactly what I told the kids is you have to try, you have to do your thing. You have to just... It's mind-blowing when I sit here and talk, because I'm not used to doing these podcasts. So when I hear these stories or I hear people talking, it just takes me to like, wow, like just you have to have confidence. You have to do your thing. You have to have somebody who maybe sees something in you, right? Like a professional scout for like baseball, football, soccer.
There's nothing finer than a bit of feedback from someone you respect, someone you know has the talent and the skills, and saying, I saw what you did out there today and I like this particular aspect of what you did or that particular move you made. Doesn't that give you confidence when you hear that from someone that knows?
100%. And I see that in the kids we work with, because nowadays a lot of kids are on their phone. So we're blessed to be able to pull these kids outside, and most of them aren't really athletic. Like you said, some of these kids aren't going to be picked up on the basketball court. So what we try to do is not only teach them the proper fundamentals, but in the middle of that, give them the confidence when they make a shot, right? And then boost that. And to see from July 1st to now, August 28th.
See how the kids have changed.
It's amazing when you put into something. It's like watering a plant, right? And you watch it grow.
Yeah. But these kids are getting opportunities to do that, and just being in that environment, mixing with the other kids, doing something structured, that on its own is great. But then to add on top of that the team spirit and the confidence in their skills, and to have been picked. I mean, the sense of pride that just comes from that as well is amazing. So
Right. And we've been talking about the kids, but now do you still run like marathons or
so we had a
10Ks,
guest
5Ks?
No, we had a guest on yesterday who is my personal trainer. She runs a business in town.
Nice.
And
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Venetia Adams of Pretty Beast Mode. Well done, sweetheart. You've done us proud. So what that's done for me is, in addition to basically trying to build my body to a state where I can age better, is kind of where I'm at now. I haven't run for a bit because I'm actually trying to put on weight.
Okay.
What this has done for me, though, is given me a much bigger focus on clean eating, for example, eating protein at the right time, the right balance of fruits and vegetables. And as a result of that, bringing in the mental health thing is a couple of times a week, and I know this is a big hit with at least with my wife, if not the kids.
Okay.
I'll do a big set 2 trays of roasted vegetables, and there's something quite meditative about touching the food, picking out the food from the supermarket and actually touching a vegetable, knowing what it is, handling it, prepping it, and just kind of being connected to your food.
In the moment of cooking,
in the moment of cooking, connected to your food, providing for the family. Those are all great meditative experiences as well. I mean, I might have a bit of background music playing, but I'm really just kind of thinking about the food, making it clean, getting it nice and flavorful, making it look nice.
And also having the experience with your family, your wife, your kids, right? We don't hear that too much no more. So shout out to all the families out there that are still have time and make time through all their, I know you're busy, right? And still have that family time. So that's what we all try to provide. And how does that do for your mental health? You brought your mental health into that. How does spending that time with your family help you with your mental health?
It's a family thing. It's that sense of connectedness, which is what that gives me. And better still, when we can have a house guest as well and someone else joining us. So what we try to do, and this is one of the fundamental pieces of mental wellness, gratitude. In that moment, we take a moment to be thankful for the food, for the animals that gave up their life to provide me with the protein that I like, the farmers that grew the vegetables, the truck drivers that delivered those vegetables to the supermarket. And there's so much that we could ignore and forget about that is fundamental to our quality of life, and being grateful for that and understanding how it all hangs together is a big aspect. And gratitude, being thankful for everything, because it's all easy to lose. I mean, you'll have seen that, obviously, as a former corrections officer. You've seen people that have, either through their own decisions or through just bad luck, lose everything. So being grateful for what you have now is so important.
I love that. And I think we could end it on that, because every day when we leave the youth center, I learned this there, they do a moment of silence and an attitude of gratitude, right? If, you don't pray, just take a moment of silence. So shout out to Ian, Sexy Science Time. Be on the lookout for his podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned.